Yeah, I know, the legs. But hey, it counts as a signaling device, right? Hi guys, it's Blackie. Okay, welcome to Down and Dirty WOODSCRAFT Friday. I'm now shifting the program from doing this on Tuesday to doing this Friday afternoon after like 2 o'clock Central Time. So that's when I'll be on, if those of you that enjoy the program. Now, I'm going to try something that it's an adaptation of something I saw. There's a very nice gentleman who has a channel, and here is the name of the individual. Okay, I went and looked at his channel over Swiss Army knives. He did a modification to a Swiss Army knife. But while I was there, I noticed this toggle he was doing, and it's a locking toggle where you use it to cinch up and lock with a piece of paracord. Now that was pretty intriguing. So I got to thinking about that, how that could incorporate into this sliding guy line I recently did that I was showing. That's the PRUSICK knot onto with a bowline. And I was thinking if I added a toggle on here where I could loop it back through and pull it, it would be kind of like a cinch strap, like the ones like you have, you know, for ratcheting down a load. I'd be able to set this to whatever length I needed, and then hooking the toggle through here, pull it tight and it lock in place, where I could then twist the toggle to unlock it and have something I could cinch up really tight. I'm thinking about pretty good sized loads and things. So let's give that a try. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a branch that's big enough to bore a hole through to put a piece of paracord. I think this one will do. And I'm thinking it should be a toggle about like 2.5 inches long. So I'm going to trim off all this excess off here, but I'm going to leave my handle on. Let's see how that works. So, pull my knife. Get rid of that little sticker right quick. Nice and easy. Do a chest pull and leave it off relatively smooth. Just like that. It'd be a good place for me to put the hole for the toggle. And now I'm going to get rid of, I'd say probably this Y-handed right there. Just like that. Don't need that. This is the section I'm going to be using, but I want a handle on it to help make it easier to for me to drill it. So come up here like this. Good hit and goodbye. Now, let's go ahead and dress this up. We're going to go ahead and take off the bark. And that woodsman's grind of the Blackbird, as you can see, just hooks and peels it off there, no trouble. Now, to cut down what's called checking, splitting on the end, we're going to come here on the end about 1/4 inch back, and we're going to notch it off all the way around. This will help, like I said, reduce it from splitting and checking on the end. Just like that. Now shift up here higher on the blade, a little finer bevel right out there on that edge. Okay. Just like that. Now I want my toggle to be about from there to there. So right here is where I'm going to put my mark to cut it off. Just going to twist and bite in. And green wood, that's no problem for this. And then, holding against my chest and cinching it up for a lever, I'm going to remove that bark. Just like that. Okay. Now, right here in the middle of it, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to go over here to a tree, and I'm going to put, in fact I can do it right here. I'm going to take my tip of my Blackbird and I'm going to do a twist. And this is my old prototype, guys. It was the prototype for the Master Woodsman and the prototype for the Blackbird. So I'm just going to call it the old Blackbird versus the new Blackbird. But Blackie, where's the new Blackbird? It's at the house in the sheath. Me and this old girl right here been a lot of miles, and I'm not retiring her just because I got a new one, okay? I'm not that kind of guy. Now shift over to my Swiss Army knife, which has a cutting oil on it. So going into that divot I just created right there, I'm going to start twisting and turning like you're seeing. Now see why I wanted that long handle. So I can keep my fingers out from behind it and start boring the hole through it. And this is going to take a minute. Don't get in a hurry. Start cutting and twisting and allowing the edge of that cutter to cut out and go as you go. Okay? Take your time. Don't get in a hurry. Now I'll be right back with you in a minute as soon as I get the hole all the way through. Okay, now I've created the hole all the way through with the auger, and then I followed up by the small blade to clean it up, and finally I've taken the Phillips head and shoved it through the hole to smooth out and round the edge of the hole. So now I have a hole all the way through that stick that is big enough for a piece of 550 paint line. And yes, Blackie's an old blind old sucker, and he's got to put his glasses on sometime to see detail like that. And yes, the beard is a holding point. Not nearly as good as Dan Lutz or Muskrat Skid Poteet, but it'll hold. Now, I'm going to take the end of the paracord I already made up that's got now. For those of you who remember, I have a bowline in this end, and on this end has been turned into a PRUSICK, and the line fed back through, so it's adjustable length for a guy line, a strap, or whatever. On this experiment, we're going to see if we can turn this into something that can be used as a cinch strap for loads or cinching down cargo or to secure something, okay? And yes, I know my first choice would probably be the Canadian jam knot as a bushcraft zip tie, but I don't know, will this work? Now, let's see if that piece will go through there, and it does. Okay, now, I need to cut off the stick up here. Now, I can do that right quick with the Blackbird, but I'm going to use the saw to make it look better. Okay, now that's why that little saw is so handy for these little things. I can use my kukri to chop big stuff, but it's kind of hard to do this precision work. Can I do it? Yes, but Now, let's go put that bowline back in here right quick. See, the toggle is now on that line. So let's just secure the end so it can't come off of there by putting that little bowline back in place. Now, as I said, I want to give full credit to the gentleman, and he may not originate it, okay? That's the thing about YouTube, you don't know. You come up and you see something like, hey, I like that, and you want to incorporate it. The question is, did they come up with it, or like you, did they just stumble on it and they put it out? And the answer is, it don't matter. We're on here to share knowledge, right? We're not here to try to put a patent on how to pour coffee out of a coffee cup. It should be our job to share information, and therefore enjoy it a little bit. And so if I come up with something, or if you come up with something, or this guy over here comes up with something, and we put it out there, congrats. I'll give you credit where I know to give you credit, because I learn from you just like you learn from me. That's how we learn together. So I've now put that toggle onto there. Now let's see how well it works. Okay, the option of the game is you're going to take it, and we're going to adjust this down small enough to go around this. I'm going to cinch this up pretty good ways, just like that, so it will just go around. Okay, need to add just about that much more. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, the option of the game is you put the toggle, see, here's my line. I bring my line over and pinch the line, and then I put the toggle through the connectors. The object of the game there, if it works correctly, is that the toggle should bind it up. So as I pull this line tight, it should slide through that toggle and be bound on both ends. See, is the object of the game. I just hold it down and pull that puppy tight, and then it shouldn't slide back, because I'm just going to put my fingers over it like that. Okay, now there it is. Now what that's done is the line has come up, gone through the toggle, and then went back under the loop, and so it's holding tension. The loop is actually pinching the two ends of the line, so that is actually good and taut. But how do you break it? You turn the toggle, you take it off. So let's try it out here in a section where I ain't got that again. I'm going to slack it up. I'll put the toggle on and see how the loop is going over both ends of the line. Now I'm going to gather it up, and so it's together, and I'm going to pull it just like this, and it is working. I pull it up tight like a like a cargo strap. That's good and tight. All right, that's kept that line really tight to right there, all without a knot. Now I could easily hook this onto a piece of gear with that toggle just like that, and have a carry line. That's going to keep that from unhooking or whatever. But to take it off, all I got to do is turn that toggle and pop, it's off. So turn the toggle, lift up and release the pressure, boom, and it falls off. To put it back on, all I got to do is just take hook and hook like that, line everything up, and start cinching it up just like this. It's turning the line into a lockable soft shackles. What's it doing? The whole thing is now good and blood tight. Look at that. Barely get a fingernail under it. That toggle is locking. Now I could of course cut that shorter. In fact, I probably will now that I see how it's working. But I'll cut it about that long. So it's just long enough to cross it. Now, unlock it, all I got to do is turn that in. But that is solid locked. It's going to hold it in position. And all I got to do is pull. And it's the tension of that line going through the toggle and then being pinched against the toggle that makes it lock. So, what this means is we've got now a locking toggle. This can be used like in this configuration as a cinch strap where I can pull gear tight to a pack frame or something like that and not have a knot I got to untie. How handy would this be on something like a pack board or one of those pre-made that you make up in the field, expedited, backpack frame where it's an A and you got toggles on it. If you put this on, you could cinch those toggles down tight and hold a load pretty effectively. It does the job of a buckle, but it's not a buckle. It's something you do in the field. So all I got to have is a piece of hardwood stick at about, I'd say that's 1/2 inch diameter, slightly less. A hole through it that paracord can pass through. Now, I can still use this as an adjustable length, as I had. I can also use this now, as we talked about, where we just hook through it and put a handle on it. But it also, this toggle on it now becomes a locking cinch strap. So I can pull it tight and let go of it, and it's not going to slack itself. I don't have to tie a knot. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below, and thank you very much for supporting my channel. And do me a favor before you leave, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Till next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.